Oh, boy.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I do have the certificates that are for,
Really?
these are for people that,
he's one
the
more year.
candidates who didn't have to be in the primary because
Oh,
they
okay.
already, you know, they weren't contested, so they just made it.
There's a boys
Is there?
choir and then a girls as well.
I'd love to get
And
right.
then of course, it's sixth grade younger.
Mhm.
I think maybe third, just sixth grade.
I think she would love that. She doesn't seem to care a whole lot
I'm so
about
glad they have
sports.
that for your kids.
I am too.
Yeah.
Okay, these are, there's a nomination for candidates. We'll have
Is it okay?
Alrighty.
They won the primary.
just a-
Oh, we're live now, so if you want to sign or you want to
Start. Yeah, we're signing.
okay. These are,
These are for the candidates who, they didn't have to go through the primary because they were already contested.
yeah.
So it's just their certificates that made it through.
There's a trustee, Asa, oh, this is my son.
There's Asa Plain.
Asa Plain. He keeps these, he has kept every one of
Yeah.
these. And he couldn't find one and he asked if we could get him, if we had to make up another one for him. This was a couple years ago, but. I'm not.
Mhm.
There's a lot of them.
I know Adam signed.
For Belpre and Marietta cities.
I like to bring home one of these. Like, what if you played about?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Stuff like that, and I'll just sit and I'll just go. They're like, oh my gosh. That's my-
And
Yeah, that's your homework.
has anybody ever said you should have been a doctor?
mhm. Lawyers, doctors.
I'm not gonna brag or anything. This is not a brag, but you can tell who the teacher is on the
Yes.
signatures.
Yeah. Compared to the three.
Which is not a brag, just saying.
Oh, mine's not as bad.
No, I can read yours.
Oh, when I write stuff, yeah, I have her write.
When I write.
Yeah.
Very pretty. And I am bragging.
You go right ahead.
You can let it.
Minutes.
I guess I'm slower.
Yes, you're making sure your penmanship
I
looks
suppose.
Okay, April and May.
Same glosser, you know, you gotta do what they tell you.
Something with my signature, that's with my name as well.
Well, that's, believe me, I type it. You make too many motions. I'm gonna type that I know,
You know, control us.
I know, I do. I need a quick key on your name.
I didn't quit looking up the names.
Well, I'll wait for them
Got some missed tabs here.
to, yeah, I think I'm looking here.
Yeah. but- Did you ever buy, you know, on the box, one of those, you know, Brian had one of those pens, the next county, did you ever get one? Oops.
I think I looked into it, they're very expensive.
Alrighty, let's do it.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, and we're live.
Yes, you know, I on Facebook.
Alright,
YouTube.
you too, alright.
We've all been given a copy of the April 9th and May 6th minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept.
So
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
If you can sign one, Robin.
I will do that. All right, public comment, I skipped over that, but I don't see anybody on anywhere, okay. Bills, anything unusual there?
good festival.
Then we have our delivery crew, yes, for the delivery trucks that we fill them back up when we take them back. And we added on the United rental bill for the trucks. And that's about what we've been paying for
Okay,
the 2-box trucks.
If we were to start using the engineer's truck,
It would take more than 2 days. We can't fit all
There are
the.
multiple trips,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's perfect for the fairgrounds and it frees up them to be able to, get to the other places because they loaded up Mike's truck, Friday mornings or even
Well, we
before.
loaded all of them on Friday.
Yeah, but I mean, his was even before, so he could take that immediately, and that way the others could go, so they didn't have to stop the fairgrounds. The thing is, the west or the east side, they can't get into Lower Salem Gym until after 2 because they always have gym on Mondays. So usually the crew takes a lunch and then they can go back and do theirs.
well, for as long as the engineer has that truck, should we ask for it? And
Mhm.
would that save us a little money on United rental?
I don't know if it'll save us any, because,
We'd still probably need the
Otherwise-
2 trucks.
yeah, they would load the fairgrounds up on the East Routes truck.
I mean, the only other thing is maybe because they're smaller voting locations, we could use it after they did the fairgrounds.
I don't think it'd be big enough
You
to
don't
hold
think it would?
everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I see some uses for that.
But it is a very nice, yeah, it's a very nice truck.
well, I have to abstain from voting on
Um,
Margaret McDonald, but I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, no, did I abstain?
mhm.
All right, correspondence.
This is the same directive we've had before, but it's covers what we're doing today for the
Okay.
selection for the certification.
So there's nothing new.
Every time we have a meeting listed, the secretary comes out with the
With
director
this,
on.
which is always
It's just.
already part of
Yeah,
that big thing you've.
yeah.
But there's nothing new that was.
I don't think there's
Here.
anything new in here now.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, well, it's the same as when we gave it to you before.
all right.
Okay.
Just so you can tell us.
All right, I guess we're up to the official canvas.
Information.
So I thought we'd start with the absentees.
Okay.
first. Because there's less of them. So the first, I think the first paper you have there, it says ballots not postmarked. Right, and so that would be this group here, that's 1 through 6. What it's in.
And we can see
Some of them
there.
were postmarked the
Mary.
6th,
I see that.
some of them were the 7th even.
You know, people think that they put it in their local,
It's always.
they don't pay attention to when is the mail
When it
picked up.
actually, right.
Yeah,
So these were not
They're
postmarked
not-
by the
they're not kind.
7th
Oh.
or 6th.
They had to be postmarked by the 5th,
Right.
yeah, and these ones are all the 6th or 7th.
What a shame.
Yeah, well, you know, and a lot of people put them in their personal box to be picked up by the mail person. And then it doesn't get postmarked till the next day,
Yeah,
Well,
even though it's picked up,
I
if you're
have
lucky, I
found,
guess.
I have that informational email that tells you what's in your mailbox.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, sign up for it, it's really nice. But I'll go to the mailbox and it's not there. So it's gone through Columbus, whoever does that, but it hasn't been
not there yet.
delivered to me.
Mhm.
Oh, that's the only thing about that,
Well, you always feel bad when you have to say sorry, but
yeah.
there it is. Okay, I'll have a motion to adopt or disapprove the ballots that weren't postmarked by May 5th.
Okay, so moved.
Second,
Second.
all right, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right.
Alright, so then on the next one, this is the person who they, what was it they had missed on? They had, something was incorrect on their, it was their last part of their social was incorrect on their envelope for their ballot, and they have now corrected it. So they got to hurry
On
and
the
fix
ID
it.
envelope,
Yeah, on the ID envelope.
We got to hurry and,
And so the consequence of them correcting it means
Means we can count their ballot.
they are
They have
on,
a certain-
okay, the ballot is
deadline.
legit.
and
Okay.
then what they sent in was correct. Okay.
Okay.
They got it in. by the-
Yeah, they have to get it into us by Saturday,
And they
which
carry it.
they did before that, so.
So they fill this out, turn it back in, girls review it, if it's wrong, they call them.
And we sent them that letter.
And they
They
fixed
send
it.
the letter, and yeah, then they do.
Even though we're past that.
Yeah, it can come in, up till Saturday.
Saturday, we were open until 5 on Saturday.
It's 4, yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Very good.
It used to be like 7, but now it's 4.
This is the pile of yeses, you know.
There we go. Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the ballot that was corrected.
I move to accept the corrected your ballot.
Second,
I'll second that.
any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Well, this one, it is capital letter A. This one was postmarked on the 5th, and we received it, before the 4 days was up. And then we'll do, maybe this one, we'll do it separately.
I move to accept capital A. Ballot postmarked on or before May 5th.
Second,
I'll second that.
any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? All right.
Now this next one has 2 postmarks. It has one down here from the Vincent Post Office. And then it has one up here, that says Columbus, which the one up that says Columbus says the 6th, you can see, but you can't really tell what the Vincent one says. Because it gets into the lettering of the address.
It's
I didn't know that they could
Columbus
postmark 2 of them.
So, yeah, so
Well,
they
you can-
stamped it like kind of down in here, not
Yeah.
up by the.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
you can ask for that.
no, the person, I opened it to check to see if they filled in their ID envelope properly.
Right.
So they dated it the 5th when they signed it with their signature.
They dated what with the?
Their
ID
the ID envelope, like what she
I
had
see,
here,
okay.
yeah, it's dated the 5th. So we weren't sure.
It does not look like that's the 6th at Vincent.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
But my question is,
We
which
even have-
post office
we
is
do
it?
have-
No, if you
That's
deliver
the
it,
first-
it's the first one, so
Is-
I say that that's
You have
definitely not a
magnifying
6.
glass, if
That
anybody
doesn't
wants
hurt.
it to try to.
Yeah. No, I go with the Vincent, whatever that is, but I think that's the 5th.
It's not a 6.
It's not a 6.
I absolutely agree, because the
Yeah.
line on the left
Right.
doesn't connect,
Right,
so it's at least a 5th.
yeah. So I go with the Vincent.
I would go with the Vincent too, because that was the first post
Right,
office.
I would think that would be.
The fact that
Okay.
Vincent bothers to send it, yeah, we don't care about that.
I'm just trying to find it at all. It's under the S. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it gets right in.
But it's definitely not a 6.
That
But
is,
there,
that's open.
it doesn't connect.
Right, so that's a 5th.
Well, first we thought it even looked like a 3.
I think it looks like a
They signed it on-
3.
But they signed it on the 5th.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So then we thought, well, it can't be.
I agree, I think
Yeah.
that looks good.
It's not a 6, so.
I don't think we can assume it's late.
Probably not. This is right in the.
It's definitely not a 6, so.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to accept, capital letter B, absentee.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? Okay,
We got to take those in the.
have them.
Yeah, listen, anything. We could move on to provisional.
How many did we have altogether?
We had 59 altogether.
Okay.
That included ones from in the office and election day. So on your report there, the first group, these are ones that were accepted.
This is 1 through 41?
Yeah, or 1 through 42. It goes to the next page.
Oh, okay.
On the back.
42 says rejected, they're already.
Oh, no, it does. Sorry, I guess it's 41.
Oh, we're already going.
So these ones, they were either change of address or change of name or both. So if there were any others. Oh, we had a few that were 17-year-olds that voted that they hadn't got switched over to show as 18-year-old. So it wasn't, so they weren't in the whole book. So there's a few of those too.
Say that again, there were 17-year-olds.
They were-
Yeah,
In the poll book, I hadn't got the 17-year-old switched to be 18, showing that they were 18.
Oh,
So their names weren't in the poll book.
Do we have any balance to rename? Are there any?
No,
no.
not yet. Now that you may have one that you'll want to remake here for later on.
What's that?
A ballot, not of any of these ones. But one that was, got the right church wrong view.
Oh, boy.
Okay,
We call that
but otherwise there weren't.
right voting location, but wrong precinct. So that's called that.
Well, that's what it's kind of been.
Yeah, so- oh, I thought it was-
Yeah, we
But
didn't
now
mention
in
that.
that, in that
That's
case,
lingo.
that might be a official error because
Usually, it's-
Direct
yeah, it's
them
poll
to the
worker
wrong-
error.
a poll worker error
Yeah.
because they had to call it out and have somebody take them over with the chip to get the machine up, so. How come this one looks so much different?
These were envelopes we actually borrowed from another county because we ran out of envelopes, because they're supposed to change them.
Is it supposed to all look like that now?
No, that's an
No.
extra thing you can do,
Oh,
but they're supposed to change like the form of the envelope.
I see.
And so we didn't want to order any and then, not have the most up-to-date ones.
But you've gone through all of these and they're all,
Yeah, we've looked through all of them.
they're all right.
But so we're waiting, hopefully by November, we'll know whether they're deciding to go ahead and change the form, or not, we can order them.
So usually they right across the top, what the problem was.
I was gonna ask, there's a reason they were provisional, and
Yeah.
you've listed that.
Right.
We asked we've been asking the poll workers to write that on the top.
Yes.
It makes a huge
Oh, yeah,
difference. I
we
think they
wanna
did a
know.
good
The
job
most
this time.
important
Because otherwise,
thing,
I mean, they also will write it up here in red.
Yeah.
That
and the most important thing for the poll workers to
Just
tell us
moved in.
is if the license is expired.
Mhm.
Because I mean,
Yes.
we can tell if they're changing their address, we can't tell, there's no way for us to know if their license is expired.
Right.
I
So,
wonder if anybody brought in, still under the old rules, like a utility bill or a bank statement or anything.
Several of the precincts that we went to said that that was not a problem. They
Oh, that's good.
expected that there would be a problem, but there
Yeah,
wasn't.
That's good.
oh, good.
Very good.
Yeah,
So
people
know that
were,
they have to have.
they're getting used to it now.
their driver's license expired on 4 days.
And just a reminder that I think I don't know if it's this week or sometime soon, to fly, you need to have.
Yeah, the real
Yeah,
ID.
it's already started.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
It's May 7th, but you can still fly if you have a passport.
Yeah, but I heard it's for trains as well.
Well, you always had to have your ID, but I never showed an ID on an Amtrak, but I'll bet that changes.
Yeah,
So they're all, and these numbers are just in red, the ones you guys did?
yeah, they just.
Yeah.
Just to keep track.
and then the
Keep track.
green correspond with your status number, the 1 through 41 that's
Okay.
on here.
Oops.
We have a tracking system that we put those in.
This one says here absentee on poll record.
Yeah, it had showed when we were marking when we were marking those books that we sent out, he'd accidentally got an A by his name, but he had not voted absentee.
When I see that, I think it means he sent it in absentee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he had not
Well,
voted.
you know, since you can receive absentees up to four days afterwards, if they were mailed an absentee ballot,
Yeah,
they have to vote provisional.
Yeah.
And then if you look and they don't come in, and then
Okay.
if by the date it didn't come in,
Mhm.
then you accept it.
Yeah, but he had actually not even requested.
He did not even request it,
Yeah,
so it was a mistake
I
all the
think
way
one of
around.
the carbons where we didn't put the sheet between the carbon paper possibly and that.
But if they had requested it and didn't turn it back in, because they're listed as having requested it, they vote
They still
provisional.
have to vote provisional, so we can make
Oh,
sure.
okay.
And make sure that the absentee didn't come in.
People can go online and see when the absentee ballots were sent to them.
Yeah.
And so if they haven't received it by election day, a lot of people
will come in to vote.
and vote to, to make sure.
Or
They get-
it sat on their kitchen table and they forgot.
Or they mail it that
Or
morning.
election day was a pretty day and hey, honey, let's go out to eat and we'll go vote.
I move to accept provisional ballots 1 through 41.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Number 42.
Try this again.
Oh, I already had, hate to see that.
We're on.
Failed to provide ID.
I'm hoping it's an old person.
On the voted ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're supposed to.
Because we have to refer it, right?
I think.
Why have we not done that?
Yeah, we refer to the, we refer
But if it's.
Nicole.
If
It's on.
we can tell the circumstances were not malicious, we do it, but we can go to the prosecutor.
No, this
The
one, it was
prosecutor
this
still
one.
gets it.
We have to.
Alright, so this one here, he
No.
voted in the office. And then went to his polling location
Who's that?
and voted, sort
This-
of old, but
this,
not really.
Number 42.
Voted twice.
I think that ought to be in the note.
63, so that's not super old.
They actually came in and voted.
Yeah, he voted here,
Yes.
person in the office. I think it was maybe like the 15th or something of April.
Question, is there anything on there that says no? In the past, I think somebody had even said, I'm not sure this is the same,
Yeah, same election or not.
because we've had,
I
like
don't
last
think
year,
there
for
was
instance, we had
anything.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
a few special elections and somebody couldn't recall,
Yeah,
and they made it, they told the poll worker that, or was it a situation where they mailed their ballot in and they weren't sure
They
whether.
don't know whether.
If it was the same
got
election.
there, it was the same election. I can't remember.
Well, this,
Is there a
this
note
one
like?
he voted in person.
Yeah.
There's
We
no
don't even
question
have the
about that.
benefit of.
Okay.
yeah, there's no.
I think this is age
63.
No, that's not
62,
age.
63, that's, I mean, a lot younger than me.
I think I would agree to one.
Yeah, we have not contacted the person yet or anything to ask them
Do we usually,
anything.
do we usually do that?
We don't, we haven't normally, but I mean, we need to let them know at least they
The prosecutor has their name.
have.
Well, we refer it and then they do whatever they're gonna do. I mean,
Not try-
based on our last referrals, I'm not counting on anything happening.
I see.
Let's just put it that way.
I move to reject provisional ballot number 42.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed?
Do you want me to put in the minutes that is, you are referring?
Yeah, refer to the prosecutor.
All right, and then we have these people. They had failed to provide ID, but we did have one of them that has now brought in, they brought it in on Saturday. And that's number 43.
So they did
So
cure
she
it.
has now corrected hers.
So let's vote on that one then.
I'll make a motion to approve, number 43, application 29.
Second,
Second.
all right, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay.
44 through 47?
Yeah, but we would
No,
have.
just-
Are we, no, just
Yeah.
43?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so then here's 44 through 47. They did not bring in any.
Oh, this was an expired.
These were, yeah,
Oh, people expired. This is no idea first, oh, that's an old person, oh well. This is expired plus right church, wrong pew.
right.
I said both.
But that was a coworker error that I got the wrong.
Are you talking about
Valid.
failed to provide ID?
Right, that's what these
So
are.
we're at 44 and 47, the rest of them.
I'm just hearing her say,
Well, one of them was given the wrong ballot. They were at the right polling location, but the poll worker gave them the wrong ballot.
They still had an expired license.
But it doesn't matter, yeah, because their license was expired.
Okay.
Dora didn't have any.
I move to reject ballots, provisional ballots 44 through 47.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
And the next group, that's 48 through 51, these were voters who were registered to vote in another county in Ohio. And so we checked with the other county to make sure they are registered there and that they didn't vote in the other county. And so all these are good. They're
These are all
registered
good
and they
now.
did not vote anywhere else.
So we would be accepting these.
Yeah, and then this will move their voter registration here, so they'll now be registered here in Washington County.
Okay.
There was two of them, I think, from Athens County, one came from
One from
Monroe, and one was
Monroe.
Guernsey.
okay.
And we only had to, because we'll do the same thing for other counties.
Mhm.
You know, if people move out of Washington and vote somewhere else, we only had one this time,
Oh, darn.
so. Cool,
We're not losing population.
no. So we vetted 3 people.
Okay.
I move to accept ballot, provisional ballots number 48 through 51.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? All right.
And the next group, these are voters who are not registered to vote, and this is 52 through 57. They were not registered to vote anywhere in Ohio. There was a couple of them that had previously been registered but were deleted from non-voting.
Oh, is that the law where if you don't vote for a while, you get, they didn't know it, did they?
This is
I don't know if they,
I'm
I'm
sure
sure they did.
I mean, we send them
This is
letters.
the one we're referring.
But some of them had, one of them in 2009, they hadn't done anything, they were deleted in 2009. One of them was, just last year, they were deleted, but.
Were any of them not deleted and had just never registered, or had they all been just
I
deleted?
think there was at least one or two that just registered.
And there was an election and they just go on and have a vote. What the heck? Now
Yeah,
the
but-
rest.
Yeah, now they'll be
registered.
registered, yeah.
Why? Cause they're all smell free.
Yeah, that's where we had the most provisionals from, was from the Belgrade.
Belgrade.
From Belgrade.
Mhm.
Well, they showed up,
They should
now
have,
they know.
yeah, no, they know, right.
Do we send them a letter saying you are now registered?
We send a postcard.
A postcard?
Yeah, the same we send anyone that does voter registration, we send a postcard.
And we start adding registrations in again now?
Not till after I get everything sent to the state.
Oh, okay.
I move to reject provisional ballots 52 through 57.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? All right.
And the last two we have, these are ones that they were in the right polling location, but the poll worker gave them the wrong ballot. They were both down at the fairgrounds. So the one I wrote on there, what they should have been, the sticker up here says what they were given. And then on the post-it note, I wrote what they should have been.
Did it make a difference?
These ones, they would have the same. Because there's, they would have the same things to
It was
vote on
within the
this,
same
for this
ballot.
election. If there had been like city council or anything.
So this
it
isn't the
could be
voter's
different.
mistake,
No, it's not.
but they have,
This is
their votes
poll worker,
rejected.
absolutely poll
Yeah,
worker.
we can accept it because of the,
We can't accept
we
it.
can accept them because of, poll worker error. Because they were in the right location. Now,
Right,
if they had totally went to the wrong location.
That'd be
they were-
different.
Yeah, if they were supposed to go to the fairgrounds and they went to Newport, say, or
Understand, yeah,
something.
but they were.
So we're allowed to accept
They did
this.
everything they were
And-
supposed to do.
and given the way the polling was set up this time, it had to be poll worker error. Because the only way they could access the vote machine is if the poll worker took them there.
Mhm.
But
And
you
these
know
are,
what?
these are paper ballots that are.
For 16 precincts in the
No,
fairgrounds and only
yeah.
2,
That's pretty
that's
amazing.
pretty good,
No.
considering how they had to do it.
Well,
Well,
actually, there
when
were
you
three,
used
but
to
that's
be
fine.
situated, you went to your precinct to vote.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
No, well, they
Yeah.
weren't done like
It
that.
was set up by
Oh, I know
alphabet.
they
Yeah,
were.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying,
Yeah.
when I worked polls, it used to
Right,
be.
right.
And that,
So we're allowed to accept these?
Mhm. We can accept them.
Oh,
do the poll
okay.
worker error.
yeah.
And it doesn't, we don't have to remake them.
Ballots are.
Right.
fake.
Yeah, we don't have to remake them.
Yeah.
If there had been anything.
All the
that they-
same, so it doesn't affect.
Right,
Right,
if there had been anything that they couldn't have voted on, we could have remade it.
we could have remade
Right,
it.
We take that off.
Issue or.
So it's just the fact that they got, they have the same ballot, it's
Yeah.
just the wrong precinct.
Right, this time it works out that they're the same.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't always work out.
Yeah,
that
that's
way.
true.
The same,
The
But
same-
we are given some leeway on this one,
Right.
oh, I
on
see,
these two.
same ballot.
So we're allowed to
You're
accept
allowed
that.
I
to
see.
accept them, yeah.
Yeah,
Again, that's, I'm amazed, that's all we had.
Well, you're right, given the, what happened, yeah.
yeah, I would think that's on the records, their precinct.
It is.
But poll workers just,
Got
you
it,
know.
got it,
Maybe they
okay.
got distracted in the moment.
Yeah.
Or the person who was handling the chits heard the wrong
Exactly.
number. And of course, you wouldn't, if you were the voter, you wouldn't know because the ballot comes up and it's the same ballot.
It's what
I get
you
it.
expect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I move to accept provisional ballots number 58 and 59.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
And that's two out of the entire election.
Yeah, that's not, well, actually, there were three because one of the
The
other
one
ones was not like, was like that,
Okay.
but
So three out of the entire
That's pretty
election,
darn
not
good.
just the fairgrounds.
Yes.
Out of
I mean,
everything.
given everything,
I'm shocked, to be
Yeah.
honest. I
Yeah.
pleasantly
How
pleased.
crazy Belgrade was.
I know,
Yeah.
and Warren, Belgrade and Warren were both hot.
It's really good.
Now, I do have and I talked to Jason Johnson at Warren, and I don't know, did you talk to him, Karen?
Not yet.
So he had a question to me. Two students, he had emailed or mailed in their voter registration on the day it was due. And it had the right, it would have had that postmark. Does the registration count based on the postmark or on receipt?
It's the postmark. But Emily said she had looked and they were postmarked the day after the deadline.
You know, he thought it was that day, so apparently not. Yeah, well, at
And we
any
have to
rate,
receive them within like,
no, I get that, but he was fairly positive that they had gone out that day, but apparently
But it
not.
wasn't.
It wasn't postmarked, so there you go. But here's the other question. They were told there's nothing you can do and sent away as opposed to being given a provisional, and that was I was upset about that.
But there was nothing they could do.
Yes, they were not even offered
Offered
a
a
provisional.
provisional.
Oh.
I said, well, I couldn't answer that, but both of them went to the polls and they told them there was absolutely nothing you can do about it, and you have to vote.
Julie, remember Andrea wasn't able to work the BLM this year because she was student teaching, and Julie hadn't been a BLM for since 2019.
Who knows who told it? I cannot even say who
Yeah.
told them that, and
Yeah.
Who knows who
We
it was?
teach them, everybody
I know.
votes.
well, I told them, I
Whether
said,
you
well,
guys count it is up to you guys.
That's right. The
No,
provisionals, yeah,
I told them, I
trained
said,
that way.
in any event, they should have been given a provisional.
Yeah, they should.
And I apologize for that.
Yeah.
There were two students who wanted to vote for the levy, of course, you know, all of that. But, so I'll let him know that you remember you looked them up.
yeah, I know Emily said she looked and
Okay,
found the registrations in the drawer.
so the date is correct, but what he needs to do is to make sure it's actually postmarked. Well, if they had taken it to Vincent, as we now know,
Yeah.
Vincent would have postmarked it.
That's right.
Yeah, I wonder if you can do that at any post office.
You can.
I want a postmark
You have
right
to
now.
Well, you can get a certificate of mailing too.
You have to walk it in though.
You have to walk it in,
Yeah.
right,
We need to encourage folks if they're up against the deadline, we need to do
Yeah.
that.
and I'll tell him that.
Yeah.
It's because, he had called me and, anyway.
Yeah,
Well, again, if
We
only two-
apologize for that.
Yeah, and I
that
do too, and if only a couple of people were told that, then,
I bet Anita wasn't around, because Anita would have known that. She might have been working at the provisional table.
Well, she wasn't when we were there. She was, doing the
Codes.
yeah.
Are these?
I don't remember who was doing the.
Yeah, those were all rejected.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the ones before.
And I'm gonna make sure that, everything read through.
So they're gonna run them through now, and then we get a
You wanna go
final
on
vote?
recess for a while?
I guess, how long was it gonna be, do you figure?
It shouldn't take hardly any
I
time.
wouldn't think.
Yeah.
Let's recess.
I move to go to recess.
Okay,
I'll second.
all right, any discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed,
Nay.
Don't you dare.
and then live too. Yeah. So as soon as tell me when this is off.
Well, we needed to go into executive session.
I thought we already did.
No, we voted to
No,
recess.
I wanna have a discussion, as whether, I'm gonna
Oh.
say, should we?
Okay, go into.
Yeah, that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's all, that is all.
Still so live, like.
sometimes go to the restroom.
Yeah.